Hi, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and I'm here today to share with you an experiment. I had these old notes that I thought I would like to try to use for my junk journaling, both because it's thrifty and because I like to repurpose things. So this could go in the recycle bin, but I thought, I like some of the colors on here, and I really wondered if there's any way that I could repurpose these for my junk journals. So today, I'd like to bring you along on a little bit of an experiment to show you what some of my results are. I'm actually going to do this in a three-part video, and I'm going to use different methods to try to remove the ink, or at least make it a little bit lighter, so that it can be used in junk journaling. And I also really like that you get some more colors from the ink on these papers when you dye them. I have two different kinds of ink on these papers. I have this kind of really colorful light blue and then the red and purple inks. And then I have another kind of ink that is this darker blue ink. And I know that they do not respond the same way because I've already done some trial runs. So let's go and find out what works on these papers. Okay, so when I had done some experimenting previously, I found that this pen, that's in various different colors. I have green, I have some in purple, I have some in blue and red, various different colors like that, that all of these came out pretty thoroughly by just soaking them in coffee. Now, I don't think there's anything particularly magic about coffee. You could probably just use water, but since a lot of us in the junk journal community like to use coffee dye our papers anyway, this is an opportunity to get some more colors into our papers, as well as dyeing them at the same time. I think you could use avocado dye, the avocado skin dye, onion skin dye, really just about anything that you have on hand that you want to use. I'm going to kind of mix these up a little bit so I get some different colors on the pages. I think the green and the blue would look pretty together. Let's see. I try not to make mud, so I'm going to try not to do the green and the purple together, but some of these, I'm going to layer them so that some of the colors will transfer. I'll go ahead and do that off camera. And I have one sheet of this dark blue ink, which I already know. It didn't work very well with just the dyeing in the coffee, or soaking in the coffee. But I just want to show you, kind of what the results are with that one. And then I have a bunch of pens that I tried that are, current day pens, so that you can see, what effect just coffee would have on it. So again, this is just coffee that I've heated up. I'm just going to pour it over the top and let it soak. I may turn it over. Oh, you can see, look, this flare pen is already, as well as the ink joy is already running. So you can see these are already starting to run. Look at that, that red one particularly. Wow, that one's really, really running. I might have to, probably should have just added these one by one. I might have to go back and just do that. Okay, so I'm also going to add to this just pencil. So just soak this in the coffee, just the coffee dye, just like that, okay? I'm just going to show you where we are here with this, the stuff that's been soaking, the papers that have been soaking in the coffee. I'll move it over slightly. Okay, so this, let's see, this is the one that was pencil. Just gonna kind of put this on my sheet like that. This one is the blue, that dark blue pen. Doesn't really look like it did much. All right, I'm just gonna put that on my sheet. Let's see, this is one of the papers. I believe. So let's see, we'll take that one out and put that on here. And then I'm just gonna dry these so you can kind of get an idea of what they're, you know, how they look. You can see right off the bat, this is after, you know, maybe soaking like half an hour, 40 minutes or so, that this page that was the blue ink really didn't do much of anything. Ah, that tore, oops. This page, you can see it's much lighter. This is, and I might let those soak for a little bit longer because I think I can get a better result than that. It's hard to see wet, but this is the pencil, and that one doesn't do much of anything either. I'm not going to bother soaking it longer because I don't think that it's going to make much of a difference. It didn't in my previous examples. So I'm going to go ahead and dry these. You can see with the difference, and then I'm going to continue to let these soak for a little bit longer to get it even lighter. Okay, so I'm going to put those off to the side, and I'm going to start putting these papers on here, getting ready to dry them. And I like using, so can you see what I'm doing here? I can't tell if you can see what I'm doing, but I like, you know, using some placemats as a way to get some impressions on there. Okay, I think I'm going to start with it just without anything. I don't know how much you guys can see in there. All right, I'm just being kind of careful, lifting this out. And there. Just putting another one over here. It's kind of hard to do this with the camera here. Doggone it. But I just want you to get an idea of how I do this. Okay, that one's kind of hanging over the edge, which is not ideal. So I'm gonna rearrange it. I don't really like them overlapping that much, but sometimes they do, and that's just the way it is. I'm gonna try to make it nice and flat on here. And then just add, you know, this over the top. Make sure I kind of smooth it out to get good adhesion. Actually, let me go ahead and do this one over here. I'm not going to do all of these on camera because I'm kind of tearing them a little bit. All right, so it looks like this one that I'm doing here, this one for whatever reason, maybe it was a different pen or a different color, it didn't quite lighten as much as some of the others. So I'm just gonna kind of rub it and see if that helps it along a little bit. It did actually. Let me do this side a little bit. See if that helps it. Okay. And put that kind of like that overlapping a little bit. Yeah, you can see this didn't take all of the ink off. You can kind of still see some of that. But again, I'm gonna flatten that just to get as good adhesion as I can. And I'm gonna use a different one on the top. And then I keep layering them up like that. And some of these I'm gonna, rub a little bit more because I'm not sure, it didn't lighten them quite as much as I had hoped. It could just be because they didn't have a lot of, I put a lot of papers in here. So this didn't have as much surface area to kind of Okay, so I did a couple more layers. Now I'm just going to take this and put it in the oven and let those dry. Okay, so here are the 3 results that we get from this. This is pencil. You can see this did pretty much nothing. I mean, it is coffee dyed, but really it didn't lighten the color at all. So these were the notes with the dark blue pen, and you can see that this method really didn't work at all. Coffee dyeing did not lighten that dark blue pen. However, on these notes where the colorful pens were used, it was pretty significant difference. Really all I can see now is the impression that the pen left, not the actual ink. You can kind of see the difference here of the 3 papers. And this is just amazing. I mean, I'm just blown away that just soaking it in some dye, in this case coffee dye, but just, I'm really impressed. I was really impressed to get those results just by soaking it. So to wrap up, I'm just going to show you some of the results that we got from soaking the papers for longer. This is that colorful ink, the light blue, the purple, and the green. These were soaked for about an hour, and I layered them up on these placemats to transfer some nice impressions, get some designs on the paper. And as you can see, the soaking it for longer actually worked better. More of the ink was removed in that way. I mean, it's not absolutely perfect. You can still see faintly in some places on some pieces of paper the words, but it's very light and really usable, I think. So anyway, I'm going to do a more thorough walkthrough of all the papers in a wrap-up video, a separate video than this. But before I do that, I have 2 more experiments to do. This first one was just with coffee dye on that very colorful ink, but we saw that it did not work on pencil or on that darker blue ink pretty much at all. So I'm going to try some different methods to try to get to lighten up that darker blue pen. And my next video, is going to be using a method to try to remove that, and then the following video will be yet a different method to try to remove that. So 3 experiments altogether, and then at the end I'm going to have a wrap-up video with all the results that I got from these 3 different experiments. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you found this useful. Have you ever tried using this method to remove ink from paper so that you can use it in your artwork or your junk journals? If you did, leave me a comment down below. If you enjoyed this process video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please subscribe to my channel. Again, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and craft on.